So when you want to thread your needle, trim off the end, make sure it's nice and neat. If I move that to one side, thread your needle like that. And what I like to do is create a double. So as you can see, it makes it double, 1, 2, double. And then what I'll do is I'll trim with the two ends, tie it round, push it through the hole, sorry, and then pull. I use my fingers to stop the knot coming off, and then trim. There we go. So that's one. So what you can do now, if you want to use pins, you can do. I'm pretty okay. I'm not really in need of pins myself, so I'll just get started. So what I'm going to do is I'll just catch it so you can't really see it on that side. Catch my thread. Loop it through, and then I'll come up. So that means it's nice and secure. Nice and secure. So then what you need to do is go round to the back, come up through the same hole, and create a stitch. Because we're going to go in that direction, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my needle through this gap here over to the other side, and what that will do is that will make, sorry guys, sorry, that will mean then that this thread is trapped on this side, so that when I come over and move this direction, it will create a strand there, just there. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to guess where I'm coming up. As long as I have a pretty even space, I'm not going to be too fussy about the distance. So I'll come through. And because this thread will stay here, I'm going to catch the loop. I'm going to go underneath. As you can see, that thread is underneath. And then pull. And then again, I will do it again. So this thread's trapped on this side, it can't go any further. I will go through. And again, if I show you, unloop that. Here it is. So there's my current thread. There's it gone underneath. I'm going to send it through and up, so that this strand here stops this thread, just like that. So I'm going to do that all the way around until I get to here, then I'll put some stuffing in and I'll put my twig in. So I'll finish that. Okay guys, so I've managed to get all the way around now, apart from this gap here. I know I'm a little bit off centre, the centre's there, but I'm going to fill it with some stuffing. Now, before you put the stuffing in, if you pull it apart, it makes it just a little bit fluffier, makes it slightly more even. And your best place to start is to just get a small bit and start up in the corner. So open it up and try and be pretty gentle. Don't want to tear it apart. So I would fill up each corner first. So that's going to go down there. Hang on. So let's sit there. Oops. Get another slight bit for the corners. The rounded corners. Just a little bit there. There. I've kept my needle attached because that's I'm going to use that to tie off the end. Sorry guys. Pop it in. Into the edge there. And then pop in the centre. So just do it a bit at a time. Can always give it a squeeze afterwards. So you don't need to worry about pushing these edges out. Try and keep those free of any stuffing, just because they will poke out of there if you give them too much pressure. Now this is the point, if you want to add some fragrance or some lavenders or something smelly, then I would do it now. But we haven't got any for today. Used all mine up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stick. Weave it in. I'm going to pop it in between some of the wool. And then we'll stitch it up. So we'll carry on. I'm just going to loosen that. That's got quite tight there. So I'm going to loosen that. Now don't worry about it. Don't worry about the twig moving, because it will do that. I'll straighten it up in a minute. Now ideally you'll try and put some stitches around it to try and secure it into place and keep it from wiggling too far. So I'm probably quite happy with it. Just going to do a small one there. Like that. Then I'm going to level it off. Probably would have put a little bit more stuffing in if I'd had some, but it's absolutely fine. So this strand here I'm going to send over here. Make sure they're nice and level. Over here, but I'm going to do the same thing, pull it through, and then just before it becomes flat, I'll catch it. So that the twig is at either side. So that's your little tree. The branches in there, like I say, it can still move slightly. So all we'll do now is just tie it off. We'll send it through. Sorry guys, I am a bit of butt fingers today. What you'll find sometimes, if you get a loop like that, all that's happened is one strand's come through, one of the sides of threads come through before the other one. So just give it a bit of a wiggle. There you go. And we'll straighten it up like that. Sometimes it's not worth pulling it, but it's that one there. There we go, got rid. So don't panic, it's not messed up. Sometimes just one side of the thread goes through faster. So it looks like it's tangled, but if you just pull it on it really gently, it should just glide back through. So that's that. Then what I'm going to do is just send my needle down into the fabric and coming up further away, so that when I cut it, I'll pull it just a little bit, so that when I cut it, the thread will bounce back and it will hide underneath the fabric. So there you go. So that's that. Like I say, I would probably have put more thread in if I could have done. More wool. Pull that down. And there you go. There is your stylized